Welcome back to Maggie and Perloff. We're here on Radio Row in Houston, Texas, site of the men's Final Four. And we get to be joined by someone who every basketball question we could possibly ask, this man has a unique answer. It's PJ Carlesimo. He's in the Hall of Fame as a member of the Dream Team, longtime NBA head coach, the Warriors, the Blazers, assistant with the Spurs, obviously coached Seton Hall to a Final Four. Did I miss anything? We were just talking.
No, unfortunately, we don't have enough time, Maggie. You start listing all the places I've been fired in the NBA. That'll be the end of the show.
Hired to be fired. That's what they always say. But we were just having a conversation about this new movie, Air, that's all about Michael Jordan signing with Nike in 1984. You said you lived a lot of this because you were a Nike guy.
Well, I've been a Nike guy my whole life, and Sonny Vaccaro, I think, was on with you yesterday.
Yeah.
First of all, is maybe as knowledgeable about basketball. I mean, some people don't forget. I was an East Coast guy to begin with. I grew up in Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Sonny ran the Dapper Dan game in Pittsburgh for a lot of years. That was the game in the country.
For scouting high schools.
It was unbelievable. Sonny signed me to a contract. I still have it. Calling it a contract is probably generous. It was a yellow legal pad. It was a sheet from a yellow legal pad. He lived on Koval Boulevard in Las Vegas at the time, and it was a huge amount of money. I don't want to say it was probably the biggest Nike contract. I think it was $1,250, $1,500, $1,750. It was a 3 year.
Just like Jordan.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like
almost the same. I think it is what they signed Michael for when Sonny convinced Phil Knight to get into college basketball and really transform for college coaches because Nike set the tone right from the beginning. And Sonny and Phil signing Michael, that took the thing to a whole different level. So I'm really anxious to see this.
Yeah. Obviously, you didn't recruit Michael Jordan.
No, we didn't, but it would have been the same result. He would have ended up in Carolina blue, not in Seton Hall blue, had we.
No, in all seriousness, were you one of the first Nike deals or the first Nike
But
deal?
no, it wasn't. I was one of the early ones.
Yeah.
It was a group the year before, and I'm going to say names I'm probably wrong. A couple Philly guys. I think Paul Westhead, Jim Lent, some of those guys. I think Lute, Tark. It was an impressive group, but it took time because everybody thought, as was often the case with Sonny, they thought he was out of his mind because he's an outside-the-box thinker and he understood how it could be so good for school. I mean, really in the beginning, the schools were so happy. And honestly, I was at Wagner at the time. We talk about Danny Hurley at Seton Hall. Danny and I both coached at Wagner at different times. Bobby was assistant when Danny was coaching at Wagner. We were happier with, I don't want to say the administration didn't care how much money I was making, but we got free shoes, we got equipment, we got gym bags and stuff. That was really significant. And in the beginning, the other things that Nike was doing for the schools, outfitting, as it got deeper into the program and as you were a better coach, you got more money, but there was more equipment. It wasn't just T-shirts and stuff for us to give away at camps in the summer. It was stuff for the women's team. It was stuff for soccer team and the other sports. Wow. It was great. It was a great thing for schools. It really was. And then it just got crazy. I mean, it was so competitive with the other companies and what they're doing now. And
wait, can I ask you at the NBA level? PJ Carlesimo is our guest here on Radio Row. At the NBA level, how loyal are the guys to the different shoe companies? And then does it become like factions? Like, hey, I'm a Nike guy, I'm an Adidas guy.
It does, but the truth be told, some guys will wear it out of loyalty. The truth is, for those guys making the money that they're making, not from the shoe companies, but I mean what their salaries are, they're going to wear the best shoe they can. They're going to wear the shoe they like, or they're going to wear the shoe that they get the most money from.
Sure.
So sometimes it's you don't know why. It's a little bit different. Coaches don't get the money in the NBA. The players do.
But I remember James Harden, I think at one point was making more from his shoe deal than he was making and in his NBA contracts. Does that make it hard as a coach? You have a guy who's making more from the shoe company.
No, the whole thing in the NBA, it's about players. The players are making more. One of the reasons that coaches get fired, you said, hired to get fired is the expression, but because a coach's salary compared to a player's salary is a drop in the bucket. It really is. So, like, they don't worry about, they're not getting rid of 10 guys or 12 guys, or they're not getting rid of the guy that's making a couple $1 million. They'll get rid of they get rid of the coach. That's just the way it is. But you understand the players decide what shoes they're going to wear. Obviously, the league has some restrictions, but not in terms of shoes. The players pick the shoes they're going to wear, and they're going to play. And they're usually brand new ones every night. The best players, when a game's over, you usually see the ball boy from either the home team or the visiting team. As soon as he takes his shoes off, they autograph it. It ends up in an auction somewhere. So they seldom wear more than one time, which always fascinated me. Like, cause even the old cons that we wore 100 years ago before Nike even came along, it took a while to break in, but doesn't affect these guys. I'll tell you that.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned these guys getting all the money and the max contracts, but a lot of the guys who are getting max contracts are huge effort guys. Do you ever find that money changes players?
Yeah, sure, without question, it changes
like
players.
LeBron and Giannis. And
well,
all
those
these
guys know that what separates those guys is their drive. That everybody in the NBA is talented. I mean, they really are. You're not getting to that league. You're not one of the best 500 players in the world unless you've got some, extraordinary ability. What separates Bron right now and Kobe when he was alive and Michael is the competitiveness and the willingness to work to excel. They outwork, and it always fascinated me. Like I'd have young guys on some of the teams I coached, and they'd go home in the summer and they'd come back the very same player. Like I said, what'd you do all summer? And meantime, you got Michael Jordan or LeBron, who were never bad shooters, but came into the league, okay, but not great. They'd come back better. They'd work on something. They'd work on their left hand. And I'm saying, what's wrong with this picture? The best player in the league is working harder than all these other guys, and the other guys are like enjoying their summers and not working at their craft. It's not an accident, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, the elite players, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is the ultimate gym rat. That's why I was so lucky to coach him for a year in the Sonics when he was Rookie of the Year. He works at his craft. He's a better player now than when he came into the league. He'll work on something this summer, and he'll come back when they start practice in October a better player. And he'll probably go play in the Olympic team and probably do something in the summer where other guys are going, I need time off. KD wants to play, and he wants to work at his craft, and that's really what separates the great ones.
PJ Carlesimo is going to be calling the Final Four, the championship game for Westwood One. Of course, he's in the Hall of Fame. Would you like to end the debate for us right now?
Absolutely.
Michael Jordan or LeBron James? You can do this, Coach. You can end it for all time right here.
Bron is going to beat up on me because he's either listening or it'll get back to him. I'm an MJ guy because I grew up with MJ. That's my era. Coached against him in college, had the misfortune of coaching against him a lot in the NBA. Fortunately, I got for a summer, maybe the best summer of my life, got to sit with Mike Krzyzewski and Lenny Wilkins as assistants to Chuck Daly and watch number 9 play with Magic and Larry Bird. I mean, the most unbelievable team that was ever put together. So I'm partial to MJ. I used to say it wasn't even close because before LeBron started acquiring the rings, I say, come on, you can't compare him. Look at all the rings Michael had. Well, LeBron's taking care of that argument, and the thing that Bron is doing even better than MJ is the longevity. To play at the level LeBron is playing at right now, and the way he takes care of his body and that allows him to play at this level is spectacular. So, I mean, hats off. I love LeBron. Another one I don't like coaching against, for sure. We came up on the short end of a lot of those games. But, split hairs. You make me pick one, I'm going to pick MJ. But 1 and 1A, they're like, it's a very short list of the best players in the history of our game. Both of those guys are on that very short list.
Last year we asked you about Bronny's game.
Yep.
And it feels like we just watched the McDonald's game. It's gone to the next level.
I still haven't seen it. I'm embarrassed. Honestly, every time I see Bron Sr., first thing I ask him is, how's Bronny doing? And right away he'll light up and he'll talk about him. I have seen so little of him. I've never seen him in person. I've seen him on TV, but not as much as I should have. So I need to do more work, especially living on the West Coast. And I missed the McDonald's. I've been the last 3 weeks, the best thing ESPN does for me is they allow me to be with Westwood One for the tournament. It was great. I mean, most of the year I'm with Mark Kestisher doing ESPN radio for the NBA, and we'll be back there as soon as this is done. We'll be back in the playing games, and the rest until the end of June. I'm lucky enough to get to do the NBA right through the finals. But so I haven't seen him. I do need to see Bron. I got a hunch I'm going to see him at some point. I got a hunch his father's still going to be playing too. So it's going to be interesting to watch.
They're going to be teaming up together, according to LeBron.
I tell you what, normally I would laugh at that. I've learned not to laugh at anything LeBron says because if he wants it to happen, it's probably going to happen.
Coach, we love when we get to spend a few minutes with you talking basketball. Have a great Final Four and championship game. We'll listen to you in the NBA playoffs, too.
Happy to be with you guys. Thank you.